live in a Twilight world. I go by the name Les Luthor, with a Z, yeah, like the bad guy from Superman, but with a Z and not an X. And I created the concept of illusion warfare. Now, I'm going to do, as quick as I can, a slideshow explaining what I mean by illusion warfare, and the whole purpose of the thing I do called illusion warfare reporting. I should have done this ages ago, about 2 years ago when I started, but I never got round to it. Obviously, to me, it's self-explanatory, but there's a lot of people don't get what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm going to do a very quick slideshow helping to explain what it is and why I do it. And yeah, man, it could be a slideshow. Like, it might be quite boring for some people, might be a death by PowerPoint. Some of you might find it very interesting. But yeah, man, it's my concept. I'm not the first human in the world to put the two words together, but it seems like I'm the only one who's using this term illusion warfare in the way that I do, you know. So yeah, this is all me. I'm not stealing anyone's ideas. This is not like this is someone else's thing and I'm merely parroting. This is all me, yeah. So if anyone's got any questions about what it is, you've got to ask me, because I get a lot of weird questions like, you know, where are you getting this from? What book are you reading? And all this. No, guys, this all comes from my mind. Okay, and this is my little symbol. It's obviously an adaptation of the pop culture kind of ghost army symbol you might have seen from certain documentaries. But yeah, it's my symbol. This represents the masses here being played like puppets. This is the XX, the double cross system I talk about quite a lot. This is the hidden hand. This is the ghost army, the secret unknowns that are pulling the strings. And this here is what I call the black cube, which is just a generalized term for them using simulations and AI algorithms to predict the future. A lot of you might be thinking that I'm kind of like in the same boat as the auto hoaxer crowd and the everything is fake crowd, but I'm really not, because those guys think everyone is an actor, whereas I think that the black cube, the ghost army, the hidden hand, and the double cross system knows exactly, well, they can predict the future to, you know, a 0.1% accuracy, and they know exactly how to make the masses jump through hoops right on cue. So let's get started. When I use the word illusion, I'm talking about the dictionary definition of illusion: a deceptive, false, untrue, or misinterpreted perception of reality. Not to be confused with hallucination. So one of the biggest problems I've run into is people get these two words mixed up, illusion and hallucination, and then they project it onto me. They make the claim that I'm trying to say everything's a hallucination, which I'm not. I've made it very clear from the beginning I've started my illusion warfare work that illusion and hallucination are two different things, okay? So I think a lot of my haters, or when people get frustrated with me, they will try and then claim that I'm saying hallucination when I've never said that, you know? Always illusion, yeah? Like, I'm talking the obvious, yeah, stage magician makes a double-decker bus disappear. He chops his assistant in half. Yeah, this is all an illusion. This is smoke and mirrors, light and shadow, angles, confusion, you know, all the tricks of the magician, yeah? He doesn't actually make a bus disappear. He creates the illusion the bus is going to disappear. He doesn't create, you know, he doesn't chop his assistant in half. He creates the illusion he's chopping his assistant in half, okay? This is not a hallucination. You don't go to a magic show. You're not hallucinating the magician. You're not hallucinating a bus. Yeah? It's illusion, okay? He's using, you know, all kinds of trickery to deceive your perception of reality. So illusion warfare itself, weaponized use of illusion by the hidden hand to fool the masses into believing a false, untrue perception of reality. The goal is to deceive the masses into manifesting the illusion into existence via their belief, participation, and real reactionary response to the fictional event of fill in the blank, whatever event we're going to talk about. So I'm putting it forward, everyone listening, that every world stage event from World War I, the Battle of Waterloo, up until the Scandemic, wildfires, BLM riots, 9/11 are all manufactured and well-engineered illusion operations. So an illusion operation is a specific way of saying it, and illusion warfare is just a generalized way of saying it, yeah? So 9/11 will be a specific illusion operation, okay? Now, illusion warfare targets the physical senses, yeah? This is why it's so effective. And I'm sure you all know the physical senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, balance, body motor skills, and your organs, yeah? Things like your skin, detecting temperature, your bladder, knowing when it needs to take a piss, and so on, yeah? Unlike a psyop, which is aimed at your brain, illusion warfare is aimed at your body. Now, one of the things that really annoys me, one of the reasons I got into this concept of illusion warfare, is I was sick of all the truthers and auto hoaxers and everyone constantly calling everything a psyop, and that's the wrong use of the word psyop. In fact, it's very rarely ever a psyop, the things they're talking about. So yeah, I hate the word psyop, and it's one of them words that kind of, the word psyop is a bit like the N word for me. It depends who's using it and in what context and where it's coming from. But once again, yeah, it's creating a false, untrue perception and belief of reality, okay? And yeah, man, this is really important. We'll get back to this in a sec. The physical side of it. So another way I like to put it is illusion, belief, manifestation. You may have heard of problem, reaction, solution. I don't think that's quite right regarding like the masses. I think it's, the illusion op creates the belief, which creates the manifestation and the outcome. So yeah, the purpose of any illusion operation is to manifest a real reaction, response by the easily fooled masses. Although the trigger event in question is a well-engineered smoke and mirrors deception, the masses' belief and participation manifests the illusion into reality. And here's a very important phrase: an illusion shared by all becomes a reality. So my most well-known illusion warfare report, my first ever one, was when I went to Kiev in Ukraine during the Battle of Kiev in the first kind of like days of that phony war. And, the illusion op there was they created the illusion that the city itself was about to be overrun by Russian forces. They played all the kind of deception tricks they could use. They used sonic warfare. They played air raid sirens. They theatrically got the military to drive all around and do loops of the city. And then obviously the easily fooled masses believed this. They believed the TV and what they were seeing out on the streets. They then all packed their bags and left. Now this manifested an evacuation war zone situation, if you get what I'm saying. Now, like I said, I'm going to try and make this presentation as short as possible, so I'm not going to go into the complete ins and outs of that specific illusion operation, but you get the idea, right? The illusion creates a belief, creates the manifestation. So yeah, man, why I do it, the purpose and goal of illusion warfare reports is it's boots on the ground, yeah? many years ago, and even quite recently, I heard someone very high up in the British military pretty much say that no matter how good technology gets, their Mark 1 for surveillance will always be the human eyeball, one of their trusted agents out in the field, because you cannot trust anything digital. Yeah, you cannot trust pixels on a screen. You cannot trust, some guy who's doing like open source intelligence via some kind of TikTok account. It's just pixels on a screen. You can't trust satellite images. You can't trust drones, okay? They are digital. They can all be altered and manipulated. That's why, yeah, man, people like MI6, the SIS, the SAS, they've always said that having one of their agents hiding in a bush with a pair of binoculars is their Mark 1 surveillance weapon, the human eyeball. And I'm saying human because I consider myself a human, not one of these flesh robot NPCs. A lot of people ask me, like, why don't you go and do like more interviewing of people who were at the scene of the Illusion operation? To me, that's not the point of Illusion Warfare reporting. That would be NPC interviews. I have no interest in what the NPC easily fool types think they saw or believe they saw. That's no good to me. 40% of the population are very easily hypnotized, so it's just not. It's not what Illusion Warfare reporting is about, man. But yeah, man, boots on the ground. It's the only way, man. And they call that who. I heard recently the head of the SIS and MI6 come out, and he basically said human intelligence will always be their number one intelligence, yeah? Field agents out in the field. So I'm doing that. I'm pretty much doing what those guys do. That's why I use really old equipment, because it's more reliable. Analog equipment. I've got an 8-year-old action camera. I've got an iPhone 8. They're so old that they can't be tinkered with, because you can't trust these new iPhones, these new smartphones that are automatically AI altering images anyway, without your permission. As well as the fact you can't trust Apple and Android and Google with your pictures, because they will delete them and stuff. So yeah, when I'm out in the field, when I'm out around, an event, investigating whether it's an illusion or not, the things I'm looking for are theatrics, agents, props, costumes, actors, film sets. That's an important one. This would be stuff that's sealed off from the regular members of the public. Yeah, and I'm just a regular person. If there's an area, and I highlighted this when I went to France on Illusion Warfare Report 3, there's areas that are sealed off from us, everyday people and citizen journalists. That's because within that zone, behind that barrier, is a film set where it's choreographed theatre going on real quickly. In a genuine war, in a genuine riot, and a genuine wildfire, they wouldn't have time to seal off an area exclusively for the mainstream media and for certain individuals. That would not happen in a real war, okay? That's a telltale sign this is an engineered and manufactured illusion. The other interesting one is human trafficking. I put in brackets NPC. Now, this is real. What I'm talking about is real human trafficking. Not the idea in your head of a Hollywood thing where they're like kidnapping humans or whatever and putting them on the sex slave. I'm talking about, again, I'll use Kiev as an example. They shut off all of the roads and the airport, and the only way out really was the train station. They human trafficked the NPCs into a train station. This, of course, overloaded the train station, made it look 10 times more packed than it needed to be, where the mainstream media and easily fool types with their TikTok accounts filmed it all, and it created the illusion of a chaotic, mass exodus. It made it look 1,000 times when worse than it was. But this is human trafficking, yeah? I also showed this when I was at a train station in Poland, which was taking the people from Kiev, right? There'd be 6 perfectly fine doors, but they closed 5 of them, bottlenecking people into one door. Corralling them like cattle. There'd be 4 platforms that were operational. They'd shut down 3 and squeeze everyone onto one platform. Yeah? The mainstream media would purposely book up every hotel, so it meant that people, easily full types that were leaving Kiev, had no choice but to sleep at the train station. You see, they're manufacturing chaotic scenes where the camera men of the mainstream media and the alt media and the OSINT community are there filming it. See, these little things create the illusion of. So, you know, real human trafficking is a very important one. Props, you know, it's when they get, like, for no reason, they'll get the fire brigade to turn up and just park right in plain sight, like right at the entrance of somewhere like that train station, have their lights flashing for no reason. They're not there for no other purpose other than a prop to help create the scene, create the atmosphere of a war or a crisis or a catastrophe. Same with theatrics, when they get like a tank to just drive through the middle of Kiev for no reason. This is theatrical. And of course, what I'm saying is, whereas I'm in opposition to like the auto hoaxer crowd, is I'm saying that the guy driving that tank, he has no idea that he is being an actor right now and he's performing theatrics. He's just doing his job. He's not in on it. He's just a soldier following orders, and that's theatrics. Costumes, same again. When you just get like ridiculous amounts of police to turn up in their costumes to walk around where they're not really needed. You've got volunteers, the Red Cross, all that kind of stuff. It helps create the atmosphere in the scene. It manufactures a disaster movie. Agents, you'll often see undercover agents either, you know, in the provocateur role, dressed up as civilians, kind of like being the ringleaders and leading the pack. You see a lot of that. Same with actors, the same sort of thing. Agents and actors, same sort of thing. Right, I better hurry this up now. It's getting a bit too long. Now here's where it gets a bit woo-woo. When we're going to start talking about magic with a K. What many in the occult world would call real magic. This is like things like abracadabra, turning your thoughts or your words into matter, you know. The vast majority of people out there who have been raised on a kind of materialistic, reductionist or Abrahamic programming think this is all nonsense. But so did I at one point, but I'm a believer now, man. You can manifest realities, you can manifest items, you can manifest situations. But anyway, the whole purpose of an illusion operation is like stage magic. Yeah, we're talking stage magic, just regular old stage magic. Theatricality, smoke, mirrors, light, shadows, props, costumes, acting. And then, of course, you've got sonic deception, visual deception, radio deception, bluffs, feints, confusion tactics, puppets, actors. Again, I put that twice because sometimes people unknowingly play the role of an actor. I mean, the whole world's a stage and we're all acting, right? And an agent provocateurs, okay? Yeah, again, it's all aimed at your physical senses, yeah? And this is what makes it real for the vast majority of people. And when I get people turn up, go, you know, I was leaving Kiev and I know it is real because I was there. And it's like, what made that real for that person is that they were standing on that. So they shut down. They basically limited it to one train leaving a day, right? Which meant that the people participating had to stand out in a freezing cold train station for like 8 hours, okay? So that's their temperature, that's their skin getting cold. So that's a very real experience, right? Obviously, lack of toilets on the train and in a train station. So think of all the old grannies and stuff and whoever and kids and stuff that were dying for a piss. And that little thing there, like just standing at a freezing cold train station, dying for a piss, made the event very real for them people, yeah? They were playing air raid sirens, right? Creating the illusion that there was some kind of incoming fire, incoming missiles, when there wasn't. Air raid sirens. Yet again, if you were a mum with 2 kids, you believed the propaganda on TV, you were fleeing Kiev, you were standing in a train station, you would hear air raid sirens, you would feel cold, you'd be standing there needing a piss, you'd be holding your bags in your hand, which would be hurting your hands, you'd be eating their crappy food because they shut down. It was like an economic shutdown in Kiev, yeah? They shut down Pizza Hut, Burger King, McDonald's, every restaurant going, and all that was available was the Red Cross tent. This stupid kind of prop tent, refugee tent, where they were giving out like shitty soup and tinfoil sandwiches, yeah? Props. Making you act as a war refugee when you didn't really need to. Yet again, more manipulation and stuff. Visual. You know, you're at a train station, you can visually see ridiculous amounts of people, guys in army costumes walking around, police with guns walking around. It all makes it a very real experience. Illusion warfare is aimed at your physical senses. I've got to keep repeating that, yeah? But this is stage magic. Tricks of the illusionist. But anyway, like I said, ultimately, it hits your consciousness, right? It's aimed at your brain. All of these physical senses end up going through electrical signals to your brain. Like what Morpheus says, you know, what is real? Real is just electrical signals going to your brain. This, of course, then gets into the whole thing of, you know, thoughts becoming reality and the theatre of the mind, okay? This is how it happens. All of this, physical, stage magic, ends up into this. Your consciousness, your belief systems, and you forever existing, believing that something was real when in fact it was manufactured. I think this is really important. This is where I lose a few people, right? When I get to the woo-woo stuff, this is when I lose a few people. But this stuff is real important, man. Real important. And anyway, I think I'm going to rush through this as very quick examples of illusion warfare and illusion operations. So 9/11, the illusion op, they demolished the Twin Towers. This, of course, created the false belief we were under attack from Muslim terrorists. This then manifests with, you know, people joined the military. People voted for certain politicians. They allowed certain, extremely invasive laws to come about. Things like when you're in the traveling on the airport, you know, they've now consented to more laws, you know. The masses consented to an illegal war and an illegal invasion, occupation of a foreign territory. And although this was an illusion that we were under attack from Muslim terrorists, the fact that the West sent troops over to these countries then created the Muslim terrorists, you see? It's like a loop. The scamdemic is the obvious one, man. At the time of this recording, it's 2023. So that wasn't that long ago, the scamdemic. And that was probably the most obvious one of all, right? So how did they, the illusion op, they had a national and economic lockdown of pretty much of the world, as far as I'm aware. They told everyone to stay at home. They shut down jobs. And, I could probably do like an hour-long talk about the scamdemic being illusion warfare. I mean, but anyway, so yeah, economic lockdowns. They were forcing people to swab their noses and wear masks. You know, the mask being the prop. You know, queuing up outside of your local shopping centre. That was theatrical. Of course, this created a false belief of a deadly virus. It created the illusion of a deadly virus. And how did that manifest? Well, a lot of people then took the jab. They wore masks. They stayed at home. They didn't do the usual things that keeps one healthy. And a lot of people got really sick. And I'm not just talking about physically sick. I'm talking about mentally sick as well. And of course, the outcomes and aftermath of that illusion operation, scamdemic, are still being felt now. You know, there's a lot of medical changes have happened, travel changes have happened, work changes have happened. It all manifested, into something real. The BLM riots, the illusion op, they, released a video of an alleged innocent black man being killed by police. Yeah, police killing of an innocent person of color. So this obviously created a false belief of racism in America, racial tensions, problems with the police. The easily fooled masses took to the streets and started burning cars and smashing the place up. Yeah, manifested into a real thing. The illusion of racial problems manifested into genuine racial problems. Yeah, and obviously there was a lot of actors and agents, undercover agents, that were in the BLM riots, that were burning the cars and buildings. And if you remember back, there would just be these pallets of bricks being placed there beforehand, ready to give people stuff to throw. All engineered, all manufactured. Illusion operation yet again. Battle of Kiev, I mean, I've just spoken about this, so I'm not going to go into that one. And of course, the recent one I just did was I was in Rhodes, in a Greek island, with the wildfires, where they were creating the illusion of a climate crisis catastrophe, when really it was just kind of a minor wildfire. So that's it, man. I'm going to end that recording. I hope it wasn't too boring. I think I'm going to do a full day of recording. So yeah, man, we live in the twilight world.